Number 31. In square, that's a key word, GEOM, the coordinates of G are 2, -2. So I'm going to put in right away X and Y because I'm actually going to use this graph. So 2 units on the X, -2 on the Y. That's going to give us the coordinates of G, and the coordinates of O are at -4, 2. So once again, as soon as I see coordinates, I always put my X and Y. Now they want us to determine and state the coordinates of vertices E and M. So let's go back to this, the square GEOM. So if G is, let's just say, over here, the name of the figure is always in the direction of the coordinates or the letters that they have here. So if G is here, then E will be next, then O will be after E, and then M will be over after O. So it would be GEOM. So they gave us the coordinates of G and O. So right away, I know that I have a diagonal. So let's graph that. So the coordinates of G are +2 on the x-axis, that's the horizontal axis, and then -2 on the y-axis, so that's G is here. The coordinates of O are at -4, so -4 on the x-axis, and then +2 on the y-axis. So right away, instead of it being this way, we can redraw this. We know that O is here, O, then what comes after O? Then we have M, and then G is here, and then E is here, okay? So it's still the same thing. OG is still going to be that this is a diagonal. This is not the side of the square, all right? So what did they give us? They gave us a diagonal. If we connect these 2 points, that's going to be a diagonal. I can actually use a straight edge to do this. So just so you know, this is not the side of the square. This is a diagonal because figures are named in the order of their vertices. So what do we know about the diagonals of a square? We know that the diagonals are perpendicular, or you could have used a symbol. So the diagonals of a square are perpendicular, which means the slopes will be negative reciprocals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the slope of OG. So starting at G, remember slope is the rise over the run, or the change in Y over the change in X. So from G, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 units on the Y-axis, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. -6 units on the X-axis. So you're just going to make that right triangle. Then we're going to reduce this. So 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into -6 -3 times. So if we wanted to find the midpoint, we would go up 2 units and then -3. So right here, this is going to be the midpoint of our line segment diagonal OG. So in order to find the other diagonal, so remember the diagonal EM is going to have the negative reciprocal slope. So the negative reciprocal slope from -2/3 is going to be, instead of negative, positive, and then we're going to flip the fraction, 3/2. So we're going to start at the midpoint of the diagonal, and from here we're going to go up 3 units and then +2 units, and this is going to be the coordinates of M. So that's going to be at 1, 1, 2, 3. M is going to be at 1, 3. And then in order to go the opposite way from the midpoint, we're going to go down 3 units on the y-axis and then over -2 units on the x. So we're going to go down 3 and then to the left -2. And that's going to be the coordinates of E, which is starting at the origin, 1, 2, -3, 1, 2, -3. So -3, -3. And then if we use our straight edge and we connect G to E, right here, G can go to E, E to O, O to M, and then M back to G, and we can even connect this other diagonal. We can see that the diagonals cross through the midpoint and they form a right angle. They're perpendicular. So the coordinates of M is at 1, 3. The coordinates of E, -3, -3. And you could have also switched those around because we could have said G, this could have been E, O, and that could have been an M. So another correct answer would have been that E is at 1 comma 3 and M is at -3, -3. So a lot of times on these questions you do have more than one correct answer. So I always like to start out my question with what did they give me and what do I know? In this question they gave you a square, and then they also gave us the coordinates of G and O, which are a diagonal. So they gave us the diagonal of a square. What do we know? We know the diagonals are perpendicular. They have negative reciprocal slopes.